Hi, Tony Bradshaw with AddSomeToYourIncome.com to talk about how to ask for a raise, in which I'm going to discuss when to ask for a raise, how much to ask for, and then I'll give you a little bonus by talking about my situation and how it is that it worked out for me when that was the advice I was getting on asking for a raise. Let's dive in. You must be someone who is ready to find out how to get a raise and you want to be successful. You've searched online how to ask for a raise. As I dive into this, I'm going to help you be ready to ask for that raise. Ask for it with confidence. One coworker knew another coworker was going to be asking for a raise and afterward questioned how it went. And the coworker said, I was calm, cool, and collected. I hope you will also be calm, cool, and able to collect. Why get a raise is probably already established, but just to state it, is that you have put in the time. You have done the work. You are getting to be a master at your craft, and you may realize that you could go somewhere else and get paid more. Maybe it's that time of year, which is starting to get into the when, where it's your annual review or your 6-month review. And get my voice going. Annual review, right? You're at that time where it's going to be sit down and let's talk about your employment, how you're doing. And you know that's going to go well. Better than on a frantic, hectic, crazy Monday morning. Manic Monday is not the best time to try and catch the boss and ask for a raise. The better time is, also don't ask on Friday afternoon when the boss is about to run off with his buddies and go play a game of golf. And you know he's trying to get out of the office and you're just like, I really want to talk about this. Maybe not the best time. When is a great time? If you catch a chance to talk with your boss, you want it to be a time where we're going to be able to look at your performance, look at data that verifies what you've done. Maybe the timing will be right after a certain project's done and successful, and you had a key part in it. So that as you sit down to talk, you can say, hey, we just wrapped up this project for the XYZ company. We have seen that it has been a success. This is what I did. This is what I did. This is what I did. This is how I helped this team member. This is what I did to help that team member. This team member, check out this email. They came and asked me these questions last minute, and I was able to save the situation. You might not know all these behind the scenes, so I'm sharing them with you. This is what I did to really help the team. When you go to sit down, you do want to be calm and you want to be ready to be able to present what you are doing that is bringing about productivity. I will caution you that it may not be the time when you just broke the vase in the front office, or don't break the vase as you're going into the office to ask for the raise, right? When something has just gone wrong, when you've just messed up, that is a time to wait a little bit to then later ask for a raise. If your boss is currently doing cleanup and you go ask for the raise, your boss has the cleanup on the mind, and you may be saying, well, I might go somewhere else and get paid more, and the boss might be like, great idea. Why didn't we have that conversation earlier, right? So you got to be careful and make sure that your timing is going to be when the management is going to see you as someone that's valuable and what you're doing for the company is valuable. Enough about when. Let's start to get into more of the how you ask for a raise, and more specifically, the amount that you're going to ask for. You want to do your homework on this. You want to know what your position is getting paid in other companies. You want to know what amount you are comfortable with, an amount that matches the market and also proves to them that there is another company just over there, the XYZ company, that will pay me more. And I'm going to give you a small story from a book about earning more money, where Tony Robbins said his secretary was doing great. And they sat her down for, I believe it was a 6-month review of how she was doing. And at that moment, he said, we're going to give you a raise. And I don't remember the exact numbers. It seemed like she was getting $1,500 a month and it was going to be a raise to $1,600 a month or something like that. The secretary said, well, I really appreciate that. However, I've been doing my homework and I have learned that I can do this exact same job for company X and get $1,800 a month, or company Y and get $1,800 a month, or company Z start out at $1,700 and be at $1,800 within 6 months. I'd rather stay here, but I'll go work for them instead. Or you could pay me $1,800 a month. Now, Tony Robbins, of course, wisely said, let me think about it. He then went and figured it out, and he came back and said, we can do that. And she was going to get paid. And why would he do that? Because she's already trained. She's doing great. She's someone that's done that homework, and she knows the amount. He could also verify, yep, company X, company Y, company Z, they will all pay her $1,800 a month. So we better do it so we can keep her and not lose out on all the orientation and the training and all that. So your management wants to keep you, generally speaking, unless you're breaking vases every single day. They want to keep you. And when you're expressing that you want to stay and you've also done your homework and you're ready to ask for the amount that is due to you, they see you as valuable and one to be kept. A small note here, be careful about which coworkers you do tell and what you tell them, because it could become an interesting grapevine very quickly if you've mentioned you're asking for a raise, if you're mentioning how much you're asking for, and if you then mention how much you're getting paid. And sometimes in some places that is public record. As a person in education, it is public record. And I will say that it was kind of awkward one day when I found out how much my coworker makes. But that's just how the system is set up, and I can look it up and I can find that out. At the same time, if yours isn't that way, do be careful, just a small warning about who you're telling and what you're telling them. And it may be all in the best interest of helping them as well, but they might have other issues that you don't know, like they are breaking vases in the office every other day. So just let that sit there for a moment as you're thinking about the raise and who to talk to. When I started this, I said I was going to share my personal story, and this little piece might help you to ask a question that's actually going to make you more money than just asking for a raise. Asking for a raise is one thing. That gets you more money, and it'll be the amount that you ask for when you ask for it at the right time. For what I did, and you can also follow this example, you may find that you make even more money. As I mentioned, in education, the amount that I'm paid is public, and the amount that I'm paid is set. Each year it's negotiated, and it's usually decided by July how much I'll get paid for the next year. Some years the negotiations go longer, and that's exactly what happens. There's this negotiating that happens. For a lot of people, your negotiating happens when you sit down to get hired, and then each year at your annual review, and you negotiate your salary. And then when you have a larger organization or something like an education that's funded in a very complex way, the negotiating often happens by representatives at a table. And that's what happens for me. So my salary is set well before I sign the contract. I sign the contract. I know what I'm getting paid. In the advice to ask for a raise that kept showing up in the financial advice on how to help fix your budget, I realized that wasn't going to work for me. I couldn't stop the principal and say, hey, let's sit down and let me talk about all the great things that I'm doing and give you reasons why it's time for me to now get a raise. Instead, I came in with a different question, and this is the question that you can use. I asked the principal, what more can I do to make more money? This question communicates a couple of things very clearly to my superior. One, it states, I am willing to do the work. Just tell me what it is. Like, what's available? Is there another project I can work on? What is it that I could do that would bring in more money? 2, it communicates that I am interested in bringing in more money. That is something going on in my life, and we should probably have you knowing that, and now we know it, and now let's move forward. Because I did that, I have landed more than just a small little raise. I have landed multiple stipends by being put on certain teams where stipends were there. I have had a job repeatedly and another position as a director of a summer camp that has gone on year after year. We're looking now at about 8 years that I've done this camp. Because a lot of things went virtual, last year this particular camp went virtual, and I was able to run virtual camps in my area across 6 weeks. This year, this summer, we had our in-person in the building, and I'm also involved in 3 more camps that are online. That one question has brought me a lot of income. What more can I do to make more money? Maybe a stronger question than just asking, may I have a raise of $200? Whatever happens, I hope you'll let me know how it goes. I look forward to seeing you on the other side.